Hey guys, wanted to do kind of a quick update on my RadioMaster MT12. One of my subscribers asked me to do some content on it, so I've had it for about 6 months now, and I love mine. It does everything that I want it to do. One of the questions was, how does it compare to a Noble or a Futaba? I don't own a Noble or a Futaba. I went with this instead of going with a Noble because I initially purchased this to be able to do Mini Z racing, and so I didn't need to get a Noble because I don't need both. I do, a lot of guys that I race with do run Nobles, and one of the major features is I can program a lot more receivers into mine than the Noble can. I think right now the Noble, you can either only run the Noble receiver or the Kyosho FHSS receiver. So if you're only running Mini Z and you want to, and you got other cars, I know the Noble receivers are kind of spendy compared to other companies. I really like the Radio Link receivers, and you can get them for about 20 bucks a piece, and they've got great range on them. So that's what I run in my bigger cars. And then my RadioMaster will allow me to program all the Mini Z stuff into it, and so that's what I like the best about it. One of the things that I think steer people away from this transmitter is having to program it. People get afraid of that, but there's a ton of simple how-to videos to get this transmitter to do what you want it to do. Noble, their screens are pretty much programmed for you, but there's still a learning curve to it to get it to do what you want it to do. So it just depends. I mean, like for me, the Noble was a lot more expensive than this one. As far as steering and throttle control, this transmitter is great. You can set there's a screw underneath in the bottom here that you can use to set the tension on your steering wheel. You can set the tension on your throttle. So you can dial it in exactly the way you want it. This thing has Expo, it has everything that the Noble can do. Like I said, some other stuff you just have to program in, because on mine, I watched the Joshua Bardwell video, so now my throttle trim is on a separate button down here, which is, it's kind of hard to see, but it's this button down underneath down here. And I use my trim switches. This one, here, let me put this down like this. I use this trim switch and this trim switch to control my dual rates on my throttle and brake, and they're independent of each other. And this one here is programmed to do the steering weight. So, and that's really all I need. I mean, you can do a ton with it. For a while, I was running this in a crawler that I have, and I had a program for all the different steering modes. And again, there's a ton of videos out there on this stuff already that can probably explain it way better than I can as far as the programming. I'm a member of Discord, and Discord, EdgeTX has an excellent Discord server that you can get on and ask questions. They have a whole section on just how-to videos for people that put them up on how to program it for advanced features and stuff like that. EdgeTX now fully supports it, so my recommendation is to update it when you get it, because I don't know if they all come this way still, but mine came with a nightly build on it. And since then, I've flashed it to the latest EdgeTX version, and I also updated my multi-module firmware, because the multi-module firmware is totally different from EdgeTX, and it seems like it's constantly changing because of them adding new protocols and stuff like that. They've actually, for the multi-module firmware, they've actually broken it down into a bunch of different categories. They've got a surface category, and they've got air, they got LBT, because they actually ran out of room for all the protocols on the module. There isn't enough memory on it. So if you got the MT12, obviously you're going to want to do the surface ones. If you're using a Edge TX transmitter for flying, you're going to want to use the air one, or the LBT if you live in UK and you want to be legal on European stuff. So, but you know, in a nutshell, I really like mine a lot. It was a little less money than a Noble, and I know it's quite a bit cheaper than a Futaba. It just depends on what you like. There's guys out there that are still gonna run the Futaba because they think it's the best. There's guys that are gonna run the Noble because they think it's the best. This one just happened to be the one that I decided to go with because it checked all the boxes for me when I was looking at buying a new transmitter. I actually went to this from a RadioLink 4, I think it was the 4GS version 2, and that transmitter was excellent. It just wouldn't allow me to run the Mini Z stuff. So, and I've got a ton of Mini Zs now because that's the most racing I'm doing right now. And like I says, I was able to program it to do everything that I wanted to do. There's still some stuff that I'm learning on it, and as I figure other stuff out that I may want to do down the road, I'll try to post up videos and stuff like that on it. It's kind of hard to explain like programming and stuff in a short video, so it doesn't end up too long for programming. So I kind of leave that to the guys that are experts at it, and just kind of, I watch Bardwell videos a lot because he knows how to program these things in his sleep. And there's a lot of other guys out there too that know how to program these really well. So for me, like I says, my opinion is I probably won't buy another transmitter because this one does everything I want it to do. It has all the features that I need to set up a race car. So some guys, you know, want features that this probably doesn't have, that the Futabas have or the Nobles have. And I think it's mainly that this transmitter just doesn't come pre-programmed with that stuff. If you can take the time to learn the programming on this, you can pretty much do whatever you want with this transmitter. As far as, you know, I really haven't done that much adjusting on it. My throttle is still where it was at from the factory because I really like the feel of it. The steering I did tighten up just a little bit because it was just a little too soft for my liking. And that's really about it, other than, like I says, watching some videos out there and programming it with the features I wanted to do. I did make some modifications to it from what Bardwell did in his video, because the car stuff doesn't need quite as fine of adjustments as drone stuff does. So you can, like for me, when it does, I'll try to show you this on the screen, when it does the jumps now, for the weight on my steering, it does percentages. And before, when Bardwell does it, what it does is it does like 95.1, 0.2, all the way up to 91.9 until it hits 92. And mine does the jumps in the full percentage, because so that way it's essentially, mine moves 1 point instead of moving 10 points the way Bardwell had it set up. And it just makes it easier for me, and you can get the adjustments right where you want them without having to click on it less. So that's like the major thing. And that's really about it. I mean, there's not a lot to go over on this until you get into wanting to program it to do what you want it to do. Let's see. I'm trying to think if there's any other major stuff I need to hit on it. You know, for me, again, in my personal opinion is it's a great radio. It works exactly for what I want it to be able to do. The higher end radios, some of them just get crazy expensive. I know that new Noble is about $400 or $500. That new Noble Pro. So if you want to spend that much on a transmitter, that's, you know, a lot of people do. I know the Futaba radios are up there like that too. I just didn't want to spend that much on a transmitter that this one does all the features that those do, as far as my personal preferences. So I went with this one. So anyway, I hope this helps some of you guys. If you got more questions about it, just let me know. It's easier for me to help you guys if you give me specifics you want me to hit on the transmitter, because there's just so many that I can't keep. I mean, the video would be 2 hours long and nobody's gonna sit through that and watch that. So anyway, I'm gonna end this one here, and I hope you guys all have a good 4th of July weekend. I'm probably gonna be racing some this weekend, whether it's at a different track or it's here at home in the garage, but I definitely am gonna get some racing in. So anyway, I will talk to you guys in the next one, and you guys, hopefully somebody will enjoy this video. And like I said, if you got more specific stuff you want to know about it, just let me know in the comments, and I'll try to do a short video or a short or something explaining what you guys are trying to figure out. So I will talk to you guys in the next one.